with you head coaching at Vanderbilt. You guys announced a big signing with a four-star prospect, Peyton Daniels, last week. And I wonder how difficult recruiting has been for you during this completely new pandemic world. We have no real house visits, probably less scouting reports. You're depending on YouTube more. Do you feel fully equipped to do this?
Yeah, as much as anybody else. It's all uncharted waters, unprecedented across the board. So I think, we have, we've been really proactive in getting guys on Zoom calls and FaceTime, just making sure that we're connected, maybe even more so than we would if, everybody had a crack at them. We'll maybe have a little bit of advantage because some of the guys that we've been on, that we followed through the high school season, a lot of other coaches hadn't been able to, really see these guys all spring. Most of these guys going into their senior year, they kind of blow up guys that hadn't really been on the radar, because they played all summer and they gained that momentum going into their senior year. And so I think there's some guys that are, floating under the radar, and hopefully, that could kind of be an advantage for us because, we have to look at two components. We don't just look at the athletic piece of it. The academic piece has to be important too. So we've identified guys that fit the bill for us for what we want to have on the court, but even more important, how are they going to be able to function in a competitive environment, academically as well.
Yeah, and the way the NBA works nowadays is you can go for one season into college or you can go overseas. And I'm wondering how much it comes up with these, high school seniors about expressing concern about the tournament being canceled again or not having the full college experience and looking to overseas to just get it done and get into the NBA. Are you kind of fighting it a little harder than you used to because of the pandemic?
Well, I think for some of these kids, and I think you have to be kind of in tune, and just kind of hear not only just from them and their parents, but from their, support system, AAU coaches, different people around them. And you can get a feel of the ones that you feel that are trending toward possibly, skipping college completely. The G League has offered a different opportunity for prospects to be able to maximize, financially from a revenue standpoint right out of high school. So I think, it's important that we figure out this name, image, and likeness situation sooner rather than later. So it's not that, we're losing, top talent to the G League or any other overseas. A lot of guys have been going overseas recently, but I think that was kind of the idea of the G League, to make sure that there was an opportunity where our talent, here in the U.S. does not have to go abroad to still be able to continue to improve from the standpoint of their basketball skills and have an alternative, other than college. I mean, and I'm cool with it, but I think that there's still enough of student athletes and parents who want the college experience, who want an opportunity to, receive a first-class education as well as, compete at a high level, like playing in the Power Five, playing in the SEC. So there's always going to be challenges, but I think at the same time, we're trying to balance them as well as we can.
Yeah, and you brought it up a little there. During the pandemic, some news did get a little buried that the NCAA looks like it's making, headroom for college athletes to get paid for their likeness. As someone who had their UNC jersey everywhere, what do you think of that? Is that an ability you wish you had back when you saw it all over the place?
Yeah, I wonder, can we go back?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can, get some more of the some of those royalties off of some of those 42 jerseys that was rolling around. But no, I just think it's we have to find a way to include our players. I mean, we're seeing it more and more. I mean, our kids, whether football or basketball, at the end of the day, most of the student body is not back. But those, these guys are back because they understand the importance of sport and how a lot of colleges and universities rely on their revenue. So I think we, now, but up until this point, it's always been, okay, it's the universities, the coaches, everybody else. Now it's some talk about how do we include the kids, how do we include the product. It's a lot of smart people that if they really wanted to figure it out, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to figure it out.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, as a 40-year-old man who's still obsessed with NBA jerseys, yours was the first I owned, the first professional jersey. And you had a wildly popular jersey, not only just because you were who you were, but I think the timing of rappers starting to wear jerseys and it becoming more of like a fashion trend happened at the same time you were drafted. Was that insane for you to see them everywhere as basically coming out of college?
Well, yeah, again, it's almost like you expect it somewhat because of the success of, like, you saw those North Carolina jerseys when
Yeah.
you walk in the Foot Locker and it's like, oh, that's my jersey, the 4-2. But in actuality, there really was no name on the back of it.
Yeah.
So I think that's the kind of what you see, but for me, I'm just hoping that they figure out a way to do it, because it's not hard. I think it's just a matter of a lot of old rules that have been in place for so long. So it's just time for them to change. I think we're seeing that with just social injustice across the board, and believe me, a lot of the underlying issues we see there, all started a long time ago with some of the same racial and social issues that we were dealing with back then that we're still facing right now.